Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are diving into something that's kind of out of the ordinary for 2025, but trust me, it's totally worth it. We are talking about Killzone Liberation, the only non-first person shooter title in the entire Killzone series. Yeah, I know, it's a very old one, and a PSP game too, but it's a fantastic one and one of my all-time favorites. Killzone Liberation is a spin-off of the original Killzone series, but it came with a major twist. It was designed specifically for the PSP. Now this wasn't just a port of a console game. The developers put in the work to create a unique experience that perfectly fit the handheld format. We are talking tactical isometric shooting, tight controls, and a story set in the gritty Killzone universe, all packed into a little portable powerhouse. It was the first isometric shooter that I ever played, and it was a fantastic one, but it was very challenging. I remember when I first played it, I loved the gameplay, I loved the looks, I loved everything about it, but the difficulty really put me off. This was all the way back in late 2007 or really early 2008. I was introduced to this game by a senior back at school who also happened to have a PSP just like me, and I saw him playing this title after school one day and was really interested in it. But I remember him saying that it was a game meant for men, not for kids. A while later, when I got to play it myself, I realized that he was actually right. I was really put off by the difficulty and didn't really spend much time with it, didn't really try to get good at it because it was very challenging and my PSP was fairly new. I got it back in 2007, November 2007. My father gifted it to me, so I was busy with playing other games, Tekken in particular, Tekken Dark Resurrection it was, I think, and a lot of soccer games like FIFA 2007 was something that I love to play. There was this vertical mini game present in the PSP version of the FIFA 2007, which was something that I absolutely loved. And yeah, I completely gave up on it, but a couple of years later, I ended up coming back to it, and that is when I fell in love with it. And since then, I've continued to come back to it every once in a while, whether it was on my PSP or on my PC on the emulator, the PPSSPP. I'm using the same save file from my very first playthrough till date. It's gone through a couple of PSPs. The first one was the PSP 2000 from 2007 to 2012, and then I got the E variant which had no Wi-Fi, and after that back in 2018 I think I started using PPSSPP, and the same save file is the one that came to my PC as well. So I've been playing this one on and off for a really long time, and it's always a fun experience coming back to it, and the reason for that is the gameplay, which is just fantastic. It's really tight, it's really challenging no matter how good you get at it. There are these special abilities like cheats that you unlock later on, and even with those like infinite ammo, double health and whatnot, still you're gonna get your ass kicked if you're careless. Then the enemy AI in this one is just fantastic. The game relies on quality of enemies instead of quantity of enemies, and it is something that I absolutely love about it. When you toss a grenade at them, you see them react and try avoid taking any damage, and they often manage to do that successfully. And when damaged, they are gonna fall back and call for backup. With a shotgun, they're gonna try and rush you. With a sniper rifle, they're gonna sit back and keep taking shots at you every now and then. And it's a really fantastic experience, dealing with them. It's always very challenging. Gunfights are very kind of realistic, You go back and forth, taking shots at them, popping out of cover. Often you'll find yourself pinned by enemy gunfire and a couple of baddies trying to rush you under that heavy cover. And these engagements are always super fun. And while playing through these intense gun battles, you always feel that you're playing something really well made, something polished. The game features a variety of enemies. You've got snipers, you've got ordinary assault guys, you've got guys with chain guns, you've got guys with flamethrowers, with machine pistols, with shotguns, guys who always are tossing grenades at you along with using the shotguns. It's just a really cool mix of these enemy types that the game throws at you at once. Then you also have dogs present as well, and these bot things like spider bot kind of things. And then the game features some really challenging and kind of frustrating boss battles. The main reason why the gameplay feels so good are the controls. As you know, the PSP lacked a second analog stick, which was a major problem and the reason why this Killzone game had to go the isometric route. The controls in this one are just perfect. You're never gonna miss the second stick functionality. There's nothing weird about the controls. It's done really well. If you had a PSP back in the day, I'm sure you remember there was a time when we were waiting for a PSP Resident Evil game, And back in those days, I used to think that if they do it, it should be an isometric title having the exact same controls as Killzone Liberation, because in my opinion the controls in this one were just perfect, especially for a zombie game with the single stick of the PSP. With a slower paced gameplay, lesser zombies, less ammo and whatnot, it would have been amazing, but it never happened, sadly. And looking back, it's really surprising that no other games took inspiration from the controls and game design of this one and tried to do something different with it. Anyways, those days are history. Moving on to the level design, the game features amazing environmental variety across levels. You've got mountains, you've got swamps, you've got industrial areas and whatnot. There are levels where you get to control a tank, a hovercraft, and a jetpack too, which is really cool. Once again, the controls for the vehicles and the jetpack are really simple, easy to get into and fluid. The sound design is just fantastic. It's one of the major strengths of the game. Everything from the explosions to the different weapons, including the magnum, the machine pistol, the multiple assault rifles, the shotgun, the chain gun, and the sniper rifle, the rocket launcher, everything sounds distinct and amazing. Enemies sound downright menacing. Moving on to the graphics, the looks. It actually looks fine for a PSP game that came out way back in 2006. And honestly speaking, it looks better than it should because it's an isometric title and it looks crisp and clean. There is nothing that's gonna impress you, but nothing that's gonna bug you either. It looks fine. The game features some really funny ragdoll physics though, and it's something that often brings a smile on my face. It's all about the gameplay here. It's simple yet deep with just the right mix of strategy and action. You'll find yourself ducking behind cover, popping out to take down enemies, and constantly feeling that rush as you advance through hostile zones. The missions are short but intense, perfect for pick up and play sessions, which made it perfect for on-the-go gaming back in the day. The gameplay in this one is not just about raw firepower. You need to think about your positioning, ammo management, and timing to make it out alive. In certain sections and missions of the game, you're gonna have a companion and you can command them, which really adds to the strategic gameplay. They can heal you, you can heal them, they're gonna assist you in combat, really adds quite a bit to the gameplay. When it comes to the narrative in Killzone Liberation, it isn't anything groundbreaking by any means, but definitely serves the purpose, gives you a reason to go to war against the Hellcast forces, playing as Jan Templar, and the gritty dystopian atmosphere of the Killzone universe comes through really well. The voice acting is not great, but it's all about the gameplay here, and it's fantastic. The sound design basically puts you in the war zone itself. It's not a lengthy game, but has a decent amount of content. You've got lots of weapons to unlock and V2 variants of weapons to unlock as well. They are like stronger versions of the weapons, and then you also have the cheats or the special abilities to go after. Apart from the campaign mode, the game also features a multiplayer mode and a challenge mode. And another really cool thing is that every single kill and death in the game is recorded, which is something that I really love. I did spend some time in the multiplayer mode back in the day and it was really fun. The game also featured co-op mode for the campaign, which was really cool. So yeah, even in 2025 and beyond, I'll keep coming back to Killzone Liberation every once in a while for its awesome gameplay and also for some nostalgia. And I bet a lot of you will too if you give it a shot. It's a portable masterpiece that never lost its charm. This game was an amazing introduction to the isometric shooters for me personally and led me to titles like The Ascent, which I absolutely loved. And yeah, if you have an old PSP laying around or maybe you've been curious about retro gaming on modern hardware, this is one title that's definitely worth your time. If you like isometric shooters, you are definitely gonna enjoy the video on the end screen. Thank you very much for watching. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Peace out.